Good evening and welcome to the great city of Opa-locka regular commission meeting. Tonight is March 9th, 2022, 7 p.m. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass,
I'm here.
Commissioner Davis,
Here.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Here.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Here.
Mayor Williams.
Here. Commissioner Bass, invocation and then pledge of allegiance.
Father, we thank you for this moment. We thank you, Lord God, for allowing us to be where we are tonight, Lord. Lord God, we ask you, Lord God, that you will give us wisdom, that you will grant us mercy, Father God, and that your perfect will be done in our city as we strive, oh God, to do our very best. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Madam Clerk, are there any awards, proclamations, or acknowledgements?
No, Madam Mayor.
At this time, we will approve the consent agenda and pull list. Are there any pulls? All right, hearing none. Madam Clerk,
Yes, Madam Mayor, if I can get a motion and a
Yes.
second to approve the consent
can
agenda.
I have a motion
Move
to
it.
move by Vice Mayor Taylor, second
Second.
by Commissioner Bass? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Williams,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Madam Clerk, do we have any add-ons?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we have a request to amend the agenda to include the following as item 14-1, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, rejecting all bids received in connection with RFP number 21-1130100, further authorizing the city manager to re-advertise and issue a request for proposals for qualified firms for community shuttle bus service within the city, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This will be included as 14-1.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. 14-1. Do I have a motion to add item 14-1 to the agenda?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner
Second.
Davis, second by Vice Mayor Taylor. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Mayor Williams,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk?
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Mayor Williams,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Can I have a motion to approve the regular commission meeting minutes for February 23rd, 2022?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Mayor Williams,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Madam Clerk, do we have any District 1 or District 2 County Commissioner reports?
No, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any public presentations?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you please read the discussion protocol for Citizens Forum?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Good evening. City of Opa-locka Commission meetings are held in person at Shabandi Village Auditorium, 215 Purvis Avenue, Opa-locka, Florida. Members of the public wishing to address the commission may do so in person or virtually. Those persons wishing to participate virtually should register prior to the scheduled meeting time on the city's website at www.opalockafl.gov. When speaking before the commission, please make sure to give your full name and address for the record. There is a 3-minute time limit for public comments. Please adhere to the decorum policy, which is a part of the commission meeting agenda. City commission meetings are aired through live stream at www.youtube.com/users/City of Opa-locka. And Madam Mayor, at this time, we do have one virtual participant, Deborah Dorset.
Okay,
I apologize. I'm being told by IT that Ms. Dorset is not online. Oh, okay.
citizens forum is now open.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to present this evening. My name is Debbie Dorset, address 810 Northwest 28th Street in Miami, Florida, 33127. I am Director of the Greater Miami Service Corps, and we had the honor this past summer to run the Summer Right Turn program. We actually have a PowerPoint that will be shared with you shortly. I had the opportunity today to meet with Manager Wright and Chief Steele to talk about opportunities for young people within the city of Miami, and just wanted to take this opportunity to share again some of the work that we did. You'll notice in the PowerPoint under Summer Right Turn, it was COVID funds or CARES Act funds that helped to support the initiative. Some of the commission actually had the opportunity to go out and meet the residents that were served. We focused on COVID outreach and awareness, entrepreneurship training, financial literacy training, leadership. We provided lunch and snacks. Most importantly, our young people were able to get paid work experience and engagement and educational scholarships. Over the next few pages, you will see one of our outreach activities where we were giving a gift card, public gift card to one of the residents. The next presentation you'll see before. So what we did was housing beautification services. We work with your parks and recreation staff, the director, Mr. Patterson, and assistant director, Ms. Hartorn, in identifying seniors within the community. And what you're seeing is some of the before and after photos of the houses that were completed. We actually did a drive-by at the conclusion, and you will see in one of the pictures, two of our commissioners. We also did landscaping services. So in the PowerPoint, you will see the landscaping services that's being provided by our young people and supervisor. And we also installed mobility ramps for individuals within the community that were disabled. So just to summarize real quick, some of the outcomes: we served 10 young people that earned $13.88 per hour. We did 6 homes, paint and landscape, and did 1 mobility ramp. 10 young people received educational scholarships of $1,311 for a total of $13,111. It's important to note those funds were not part of the CARES Act funds that you provided to us. It was educational scholarships that we leveraged through AmeriCorps. The last 2 pages really summarize the benefits that we provide to young people in the community and to governmental entities. I won't go through it because it sounds like that's my 3 minutes, but just know Greater Miami Service Corps stands ready to work with you to engage young people that are residents within the city of Opa-locka boundaries. Thank you very much.
Citizens forum is open.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, and staff. My name is Donnie Johnson. I reside at 13724 Northwest 22nd Place in Opa-locka. A couple of things I want to bring up. I haven't gotten an answer, and I didn't know y'all changed the protocol where y'all don't respond to the citizens during the meeting, but I don't think it's fair. That's my opinion. But I asked about the cell tower. You have several located in the city. Again, I would like to know, when was the public hearing held? What legislation supported it? And I really need to have an answer. Since you all been leaving advice that you don't have to answer, you can put it in writing to we the people. If you want reference, you can look at Coral Springs, where their citizens are also attesting these cell tiles. I'm glad that in one of your meetings, you brought up and alluded a lot to the Citizen Bill of Rights, but I also still have some concern of some things I'm not seeing observed from the public view. Again, I ask, in 2012, we formed several committees. Some of the same members are on them in the same official capacity. Who looks, what clerk is clerking these boards, and when does it change? I've made several, along with other citizens, public record requests. I know there's no legislation that really gives you defined reasonable time. So I'm asking the commission to define reasonable time for us, because it doesn't take 6 and 7 months for you to get information that you don't have to reconstruct. It's just a photocopy. Again, I would like to ask for an update on the integrity group. You say you was on a timeline, you don't want to lose the money. What is actually going on? Thank you very much, and may God bless you on your decisions.
Good evening, Natasha Irvin, 670 Dunat Avenue. I come up here all the time to complain and whatnot, but today I didn't have any complaints. However, I want to say, for the first time in I don't know how many years, they cut the lot completely behind my house so that my gardener doesn't have to cut the extra that they leave. And I want to say that I'm thankful to see the employees not only working, but coming to work, and not only coming to work, but coming to work at a timely fashion. I'll be watching. So I just wanted to say thank you, City Manager Wright. Keep up the good work. Hopefully everything will continue to look better in our city. And soon we're going to be asking for donations for Easter baskets. Yes, the Booster Club is trying to get 200 at minimum Easter baskets for our Easter basket program, or our Easter egg hunt. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good evening, Tarani Mitchell, 14225 Northwest 22nd Place. I come before you again tonight, piggybacking on Ms. Johnson also about getting the response back to the questions that we have. I haven't received any response back or anything regarding the questions that I had. I brought this to the attention of the city previously about the alleyways. Is there a set schedule where the alleyways are supposed to be cut? Because they're growing up too high. And I noticed, to me, it doesn't get cut unless I contact the city for them to cut the ones behind my house. And right behind my house, my husband take care of that, which he shouldn't have to do because that is the job of the city. So I need to know, what is the schedule that they're supposed to be keeping these alleys cut? Another thing about the senior program, I was trying to get answers regarding that, because normally these programs have expiration dates. Seniors need their homes repaired, they need windows and so forth. No one has contacted me yet regarding the repairs for the seniors. Is there an expiration date for this program? Can I get a response back? We were told, you know, there's no more the responding right back during the meeting. I understand that, but I have yet to receive a phone call, email, or anything from anyone regarding the questions I had about this. We don't want the program to expire. Then you have a senior that needs assistance, need repairs to their home. So we need to find out if there is an expiration date, or if not, can I get the information so I can forward it on to someone that needs the help? Last but not least, still haven't received the striping on the road by Siegel Park. One side is done, the other side is not. That's important, because the way people driving these days, to be honest with you, some people are like they don't know their side of the road. So those are important to have those roads striped to be in our safety capacity with the kids in the streets, not utilizing the sidewalk, and then also for the traffic both ways of the cars. So what we need to do is try to come up with a better way or a quicker way to respond back to the citizens regarding the questions that we have when we come to the meeting. Prior to, I had gotten a call back the day of a meeting or whatever, okay, that's fine. But if there are answers that could be answered during the meeting, I think it should be done. And let the citizens know at least, okay, you let us know that you hear us, but we're not getting the response. And the question that I raised again about the mortgage assistance, I need to know if there's information that I can get to request public records from Miami-Dade County so I can find out this information. Because me personally, I go to Tallahassee myself. I go to the Capitol. So if I can't get an answer here, I'm gonna raise a question in Tallahassee. Thank you.
Citizens forum is open. Citizens forum is closed. Item 14.1. Madam Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, rejecting all bids received in connection with RFP number 21-1130100. Further authorizing the city manager to re-advertise and issue a request for proposals for qualified firms for community shuttle bus service within the city, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager.
Okay, can I have a motion to move the item?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Dominguez. Mr. Manager?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Manager. I'm recommending that the commission reject these three proposals for a number of reasons. We're not satisfied with the company that served as the lowest bid. The other two bids were extremely high, and I'd like to reject these bids so that we can possibly cast a wider net to get more proposals to meet the needs of the citizens.
Is there any discussion from the commission?
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Davis?
thank you. I just have a few questions. I know that I believe you said you got three proposals, two were on the high end, and the lowest bid, I guess you wasn't really a fan of them. Looking at, I guess, how it was procured, you put it out as an RFP initially, you said?
Yes.
Okay, well, have you, I guess, given any consideration to maybe putting out as a RFQ? So that, so that you have more control over the, the solicitations that you receive?
It is a very good question, and it is one of the reasons why I'm asking the commission to reject that, so that we can do that and put those things into the RFP that we actually want to see. And for those that submit proposals will meet more of our criteria.
Okay, all right, that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Any other discussion from the commission? Okay, hearing none. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Mayor Williams,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Item 16A1, Madam Attorney.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, approving the renaming of Helen L. Miller Center within the city to Helen L. Miller Senior Center, providing for the repeal of all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by Vice Mayor Taylor.
Motion to move the item.
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Bass,
Second for discussion.
second for discussion by Commissioner Taylor. Vice Mayor Taylor?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm gonna ask to defer the item to a later date.
Okay, we will defer the item to a later date. Do we need a motion for that, Madam Clerk?
No, Madam Mayor, it's
Okay.
sponsored by Vice Mayor Taylor.
Thank you. At this time, item 17, the city manager's report, who will be the best person to answer all those beautiful questions that was asked. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. The majority, if not all, of the concerns that were raised with respect to last commission meeting and some of those raised tonight are incorporated in the report that we sent to the commission. Actually, we had this in time enough to send it out to the residents, but when I reviewed it, I wanted some more meat in here so that there would be more information for you all. And then we'll send that out to those residents who raise those concerns. We do have their contact information and their email. The only thing, a couple of new things, we have the Miami Service Corps, who we had a conversation with, very robust conversation with today, and very excited to partner with them and other people in the city with respect to meeting the needs of not only our seniors, but also our children and residents in within the city of Opa-locka. We have been in conversation with our red light camera provider. So the city will be providing and installing 4 additional red light cameras. You probably would not be surprised that when we looked at the data, there are less than, I think, 3% of the violators over the last year are Opa-locka residents. And so we understand that we are a thoroughfare and a major thoroughfare for Hialeah, people coming from Hialeah and other parts of the city. And we do want to capture those individuals. Oftentimes when people are cited for traffic violations, they don't look at those violations as education, but this is really part of our ongoing education component. In addition to that, I'll have you to know that on March 28th, the police chief will be meeting with code enforcement, the Miami-Dade Police Department, Miami-Dade Solid Waste, and some other partners to begin to address our illegal dumping and those issues in the city. I have a meeting tomorrow with again with the Miami-Dade Solid Waste Director to talk about how we can continue to improve the beautification of our city by ensuring that they have enough code enforcement officers assigned to the city, as well as being responsive to curbside trash. I could probably speak for another 20-30 minutes as to what we're doing in the city, but that concludes my report for tonight.
Anyone have any questions for the manager?
Madam Mayor?
Commissioner Dominguez?
Yes, in regards to the installing of the 4 new red light cameras, that's a great idea, but I think the residents are gonna wanna know where they're gonna be installed so they can avoid getting that red light camera, okay? Another thing, your report is awesome as far as us getting it, but I think that the residents it's gonna be better if you print it and have it out there, maybe a couple, so they can see what was said the previous week. And, you know, even though you have everybody's email, but if they see it, it's gonna give them the information that they're asking about versus, you know, just a couple of copies, I guess, put it out there for them.
That's a great idea. I will have you to know, while we have not started on the project as of yet, I am being very progressive with the city and IT to limit the amount of paper that we're printing as well as spending. And so in the upcoming year, as a matter of fact, you will see a number of things going online to limit to the degree that we can with our residents, pushing out more information on a technologically from that standpoint. A number of our businesses, as you and I have discussed, are uncertain about how to interact with the city. And there are really unnecessary phone calls that are being made that takes up the time for staff. And so I'm having conversations with staff on how we can push that information out so it's readily available from the standpoint of calendar, with respect to inspections that are required, all of those things that we can continue to push out for those individuals that do business with the city, as well as our residents. And for those that don't have access to social media and computer and technology, we will provide copies to the extent that we can here.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Anyone else?
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Bass?
to our city manager, thank you for clarifying that, because when you mentioned the technical part of being able to disperse the information, I thought about, the people who are not on social media. But when you said what you did, I was like, okay, because our senior citizens and others just don't do all of them don't do social media, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. So to be able to reach all of them is our goal, and I think it should be our focus.
Thank you so much. And you actually caused a light bulb to go off. We are in the early stages of looking at how to format. As a matter of fact, it was Commissioner Dominguez's idea. She has looked, and I've seen other cities that provide a monthly newsletter to their residents with respect to what's going on in the city. And so we're looking at a number of different formats, and we're going to push the information out that way as well.
Mr. Manager? So, yeah, it's been a topic for a while. What I would like to know, and you can give me an update later. A few meetings I've asked for a mailer to be pushed out to, and that mailer could be inside before we've done water bills, but a mailer on how or what the steps are for the beautification of each resident's home. What there are, what you should do, the do's and don'ts of your home. Grass being kept, not having an excessive amount of cars, or et cetera, et cetera. So of course, following our own code, we need to make sure that our own residents know that these are the things. And if that can happen soon, this is something, I've asked for it to be pushed out to our residents for a while. So if we can do that, look in terms of a mailer, that would be great, especially since we're talking about beautification.
We can do that. What I think I'll do is I'll have task code enforcement with identifying the consistent number of complaints, whether it's high grass, abandoned cars, or disabled cars on the property or on the swell. And we'll identify the number of complaints that we receive, and then we'll push that out as a beginner with respect to those violations that seem to be the highest.
Madam Mayor?
Commissioner Davis?
Thank you. In addition to the outreach that's going out to the residents, I would respectfully ask that same level of communication goes to the business community and those in commercial spaces. So, obviously here in the city of Opa-locka, we've had, a history of code enforcement and it being inadvertently and inconsistently enforced in the residential community. So the only thing I ask is that, we keep that same level of consistency while we're working and enforcing code within those commercial spaces.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Vice Mayor Taylor?
Okay, Mr. Manager, I have a couple questions. Number one, where are we with the ARPA funds and picking an agency with that? Because the last time we had the meeting, you said that we were doing an RFQ. So,
We are, actually, there's two state lists that we actually thought there was one. There are two state lists. And we are very close to making a recommendation to this body and moving forward with that.
okay, so I know we talked about a timeline last meeting. We had the integrity group to come, but I just don't want us, because we've been dealing with this since October. In regards to the ARPA funds. So I want to make sure that we're actually moving, because I know one of my colleagues stated that they wanted citizens input. But we need to get an agency out here to hear what our citizens want to do with that money. They want to have, their seat at the table as well. So that's that. So can we know something within the coming days as to where we're going with that?
Sure, I think it's also important to.
Whoever we pick.
Sure. Yes, Mr. Vice Mayor, I think it's also important to understand as well. These documents are large. And after the last meeting, actually had an opportunity to go back through the document to look at it a little bit more. And while I am a firm believer, as this body is, about the expedience of moving things forward in the city, because we are a city under 250,000. That timeline that was originally provided, April, does not apply to the city. It does not mean, however, that the city and my staff and me will not move consistently and expeditiously in resolving that outstanding issue for this body.
Okay. And my last one is in regards to the audit. We're in March, and I believe that it was stated last year that we had, the deadline was March 31st. So where are we with that 2020 audit? Are we gonna make the deadline?
I can tell you that a couple of things since I've been here, Mr. Vice Mayor. When the city first began the audit process, there was more staff than there is now, for whatever reason. I need probably an additional 3 bodies really to bring us back up to speed. I have been in conversations with Miami-Dade County, who has been very supportive. We currently have an individual from Water and Sewer, an accountant on loan. I am in conversations probably weekly regarding technical support with not only the mayor's office, but the chief operating officer. And I have an upcoming meeting with one of the elected officials that represents this particular area for additional technical support. And so we are, Jerry and her team, trust me when I tell you that I am on her every single day about where we are and getting this, not only the 2020 audit, but the 2021 audit. And so as we're having this discussion, Miami-Dade County is looking for us to really on another plane come up with 3 clean audits. And that way we will have our advance money from the CITT as opposed to, which is one of the reasons I rejected, asked the commissioner reject this bid, because now we don't get those advance funds. So every single day we're working to find other ways and having conversations with Miami-Dade County with respect to our financial condition and, moving the city forward. We're close. We had a number of outstanding issues. I think of those outstanding issues, correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry, there are about 5. And then the audit committee will begin to begin on that process.
So we won't make the 31st deadline.
I can't say right now.
Okay, here's my concern, because I remember that we previously asked for other extensions. And I want the city to get out of the habit of always asking for extensions. Let's get on time with that paperwork. That's my only concern, because I believe this was like the second extension on that particular, it's the first extension on that particular audit. Say it again? I'm sorry. One extension. We'll be asking for another extension. And then 21 is right around the corner. So then we're gonna ask for extension on 21.
We're getting there. We are, trust me.
Okay, Mr. Manager.
I,
That's all.
I want to get from under child support as much as you do.
Exactly.
So we're getting there.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Do we have any official board reports? Yes.
I do have one item for the commission and can I pass something out?
Sure.
So, Madam Mayor, for over a month now, I have been requesting to be provided with my annual leave time and sick leave time that I have accrued since I've been appointed clerk. The reason for my request is that I found out that per the resolution that appointed me, it appears that I have not been getting the right time. Now, I've been going back and forth with HR and I'm not getting any real, they're not telling me anything other than it's pending. I'm not being told how long it's gonna take them. They have to investigate the issue. I really don't know how long it's gonna take. So I would like to request that the city commission direct the city manager to provide me with an accounting of my time from 2012 through 2021. And I would like to put a time frame on that, if possible. And I didn't want to bring it in this platform, but because I work for the commission, this is the only way that I know, in order to move this forward.
Madam Mayor?
Yeah, I'm speechless. Yes. Commissioner Bass.
Thank you. To Ms. Flores, when did you first requested this info? I know it's probably here, but it's a lot to read right now.
So let me just look. I've been going back and forth with HR since January 31st,
Of 22,
2022.
you said 21st,
January 31st.
31st. This is about 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Just about.
Okay.
And I just want to say, if it's going to take some time to be provided with this, I mean, if somebody can just let me know how long it will take, but I feel like I'm getting the runaround. And, if they're looking into it, it's been weeks, then it's pending. When is there going to be a resolution to the issue? If you tell me it's going to take 3 months, that's fine. I'll wait 3 months. If you're going to tell me it's going to take 4 months, that's fine. I'll wait if I have to. But I'm not being told anything.
So, I'm not gonna put any commentary, but because everyone knows that the HR department is the heartbeat, the bloodline of an organization. And we've been down this road before. Mr. Manager, would you like to respond, or can we have our HR director respond?
Ms. Ward?
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. I did have email communication with Ms. Flores in regards to her benefit accruals, and there was an inquiry submitted to ADP, who is our HRIS system that actually accrues and manages the employee time. The inquiry has been made and we have been following up, but we have not received any results as of yet. In conversation with Ms. Flores, at the time of her appointment, that predated myself and my staff's tenure in the Human Resources Department, which is why I don't have a personal or a specific, answer to Ms. Flores. Like I said, the inquiry has been made, and yes, it is going to take some time to calculate time from 2012. So at this time, I do not have, an estimated time period. I have escalated this matter to our account manager, and I will follow up again, but at this point, I don't have an answer.
Mr. Manager, can we, and speak for the commission, can we please direct you to please handle this and ensure that our city clerk gets the response that she needs sooner than later? I'm disturbed that this has been going on since January and we're actually, the fact that we're here with this. Does anyone else?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Yes. I have a few comments on this issue simply because I know Ms. Flores might have been requesting for her time since January of 22. But I'm actually aware of a larger issue within the way we account for sick and unpaid leave. I've said it several times, which is the inconsistency in how we account for paid and sick leave. Every time an employee leaves, we end up paying an astronomical amount. And part of that reason is because of the structure of the payment. I know that Madam Clerk may have certain things that are due based on legislation that was passed in 2012. And I, do support her in that because, if it's in black and white and, it's obligated to her. But I do also recognize that there is a problem within the structure and that going forward, it does need amending and changing. And I've had those conversations with the manager's office, who's also aware of those issues. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that point so that we know that it's not just something that popped up right in January of this year. This is a long standing problem within the city. Like Ms. Ward said, it predates her tenure here. So just wanted to put that on the record.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yes. Any official board reports?
No, Madam Mayor.
Future agenda items. I would like to proffer an item. I mentioned it before. After doing some research, several cities actually have, it is a watercraft legislation. I know North Miami has it, so does Miami Gardens, and actually surrounding neighborhoods, because that is something, it actually started from the county level. The county was the first to begin this legislation, and it will add additional funds. And what it is if you have a watercraft in your yard, you must have a permit with the city. It is a watercraft legislation. We have people, and I'm not saying don't get rid of it, but you need to have a permit to have that watercraft on your property. Sometimes it becomes unsightly, and at least pay the city to have your boat, your yacht in your yard. Can I have a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Davis. Second by Commissioner Bass.
And I would also like to ask you to
Yes, I'm so
allow me to
sorry.
co-sponsor that with you.
Okay. Roll call.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Any other future agenda items?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Commissioner Davis.
thank you. So as you know, we are at a pivotal point in our city's history, given where we are financially and all the funds that are coming down the pipeline. And about, I think a couple of years ago, our comprehensive plan actually lapsed. So it's coming due for an update. So what I would like to do is sponsor legislation to direct the city manager to work with our city departments to come up with a new comprehensive plan, which is something that I also echoed to the last administration. And in addition to going after the implementation of a new strategic plan, I would also like to have a strategic planning session with this commission where we can provide input as far as where we would like the city to see the city head in the next 5 to 7 years. So just to kind of explain what a comprehensive plan is, but it's basically a document that's required by the state of Florida of municipalities every 5 to 7 years. And it's pretty much a blueprint as to, what you want to see as far as development, land use, and those sort of things. So the last time we had an update to our comprehensive plan was in 2012. And I was actually a part of that process in my role as a community organizer prior to politics. And prior to the update in 2012, I think it had not been updated since the 80s, right, which is when I was born. So 2 reasons why that is really bad for a city, because you're not bringing this, you're not constantly updating and vetting and bringing the city's code up to date, which hurts you from a development and competition standpoint when developers are shopping around to different cities and ultimately looking to bring their funds. So I thought it would be prudent to put this legislation forward. As you know, we've already established a downtown development plan. We also initially had a downtown development strategy that was also in place, but I think it's important that we not only look at one particular corridor within our community, but we look, strategically citywide, like what do we really want to see here in the city of Opa-locka, right? We have ARPA funding, all these federal funds that are coming down the pipeline, and I think it would be prudent and the right thing to do for us as a commission to lead in that way. So I would like to put that forth as my future agenda item.
Commissioner Davis, thank you for that. I would like to also co-sponsor that with you.
Okay.
You are correct. We have a lot and it starts with knowing, planning backwards. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Madam, can we have a motion to move the future agenda item?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Dominguez,
Second, and I want to co-sponsor with you. too.
second by Vice Mayor Taylor. Roll call.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes,
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes.
At this time, we have our mayor and commission report.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Vice Mayor Taylor.
real quick, I just want to say that on today, this morning, Opa-locka was recognized as the municipality of the year from Bike 305 for our health and wellness initiatives that we have done throughout the city. It was a great honor. One, I want to commend our parks, our police department, our public works. We look good out there today. And it was a good sight to see that Opa-locka was on top. Oh, and the management office too. I'm sorry. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that helped That helped this morning. Thank you all.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Taylor, for that. We know when we first started the Bike 305, some of us struggled, and still there's a struggle wagon, as they say. But, just to bring that life back into the city and the health and to focus on health is always a beautiful thing. So we thank you for that. We'll want to continue to celebrate Women's History Month. Thank you for the women on the commission, all these beautiful ladies up here. So we're celebrating ourselves. I would like to say that on March 23rd, I will be a panelist for the Congressional Black Caucus. And thank you. The Sojourner Truth Project. And just want to thank Congresswoman Frederica Wilson for nominating me for that. So I will be sending out that information then. Any other? Okay,
Madam Mayor,
yes.
I would also like to thank everyone who came out this morning to take part in the farm share feeding in the city. We had support from Parks and Recs, Public Works, some of our mayor commission were there, and also the police department. Actually, the city manager was also there. And if I may say this is the first time I can recall a city manager coming to one of our feedings. So kudos to you. Did I say that right? You know what I'm talking about. Pat on the back. But thank you so much for coming out. It was a success. And we're gonna do it again soon. Thanks.
And I just want to say at the feeding, she served us pizza without plates and napkins, and we had to wait to eat it. So get it together because she bad.
Just take it from us. Okay. Any other commission reports? Okay. As we move on, we have a City of Opa-locka Fiscal Budget Amendment number 2 on the agenda, presentation by, no,
I apologize.
Oh,
I
sure.
forgot someone
okay.
or 2 other persons. Ms. Flores and Chris, they were actually in the street. They were doing their due this morning, making sure the residents signed their documents correctly and did what they had to do. And I looked at them in the street and I'm like, wow, look at Opa-locka's people doing the job. That was above and beyond. They were literally in the street sweating, making sure that the residents were getting taken care of. So thank you for that. You're welcome. I just had to.
Thank you. Thank you for everyone that just, Saturday, I saw Mr. King, pulling up grass. So just thank that, and that's on the weekend. So, thank you for everyone that just does such amazing work, even when no one's watching. That's what it's all about. Mr. Bob Anathan, I have you on the agenda, correct?
I think Commissioner Davis missed our last commission meeting and asked him to present. There are a couple of new items. I'm not sure if the commissioner has some questions.
By all means. Are you ready to present, Mr. Anathan? You stay ready, right?
Always ready, yes, ma'am. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Bob Anathan, Budget. Very quickly, I'm going to give you a very quick overview, the emphasis on the word quick. Just to level set, we did have the first hearing on Budget Amendment number 2 a while back. At that time, we did say that we recommended certain actions that would result in savings of about $140,000 for the city. Since then, moving into budget amendment, the second hearing of the budget amendment, we brought 18 more items into the budget, and that increased the expenditures by 200,000, 205,000 actually. So whereas the first hearing, we were talking about a savings of 140,000 with the additional items that were brought in for the second hearing, The expenditure for the budget that was recommended to be a total expenditure of $66,000. The increase, about $205,000, is composed of two things. It's composed of actual additional expenditures and then savings. The additional expenditures were in the range of $445,000. The savings were in the range of $205,000. In the saving, when I say savings, both savings and contingency, the savings were primarily on vacant positions. That was about $175,000. In terms of the additional expenditures, there were about 5 or 6 major items. The first and most significant one was capital expenditures. About $200,000 of capital was brought in. And the primary item in that was $165,000 for a stormwater assessment of Scheherazade. There were 5 other major savings that were brought in. The first one was about I'm sorry, not savings, additional expenditures. First one was $46,000 for additional temporary help to cover vacancies within building department and also in the city manager's office. The second item that was brought in was a recommendation to rent a truck with a clam reeve on the back to pick up the illegal dumping, and that was going to be about $20,000. The third item that was brought in was $75,000 for the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. That was intended to be an FY21 expenditure. It was not completed at the time, therefore it was rolled over in FY22. The 2 remaining large items that we recommend to bring in were $20,000 for additional maintenance on the 780 Fishman Street. That was composed of both working on the ducts and also further weatherizing the building to ensure it didn't leak. And the last major item was $32,000 for architectural work to allow the building to be broken into condominium units with the purpose of that to mitigate the property taxes in future years. That basically is the overview. I'd be glad to answer any questions anybody might have at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Anathan, through the mayor. I had a few questions, and it was mostly relative to I see we're drawing a lot from various funding sources, which include many general fund vacancies, I guess, vacancies
Yes,
within
sir.
parks and various other departments. Obviously, we went through the budget process and we, allocated those positions accordingly in the hopes to bring our parks and public services up to speed and have them, fully manned. I guess if the manager would like to provide some sort of thought process as to, I guess, why we're ultimately cutting some positions and then including, I guess, different services as well as, well, we'll just start there.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. One of the issues is our budget began October 1st. And up until this point, some of those vacancies had not been filled for whatever reasons. And because they were already budgeted and the money was already there, it's just a reallocation. To speak to your question, we're in the process of have a number of vacancies with respect to positions out. I have been having consistent communications with HR about recruitment, retention, those types of things. As a matter of fact, my philosophy is that money and people run all organizations. And so I think it is important, based upon my short time here, that I'm kind of focusing more on the talent that we're able to attract, the money that we're able to pay that talent, and to create an atmosphere and a climate that we retain those people that we really are putting in a lot of time and energy in recruiting those people.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Manager. Yeah, that was my only concern with that. amendment within parks. I would like to see, we have more than one park, obviously. Shabundy Park seems to be the better staff. But Siegel Park, which is literally right adjacent from my home, as well as Ingham Park, which has been one of those kind of community staples. And, we all hear the complaints and the requests to, see that park, fully back, manned and full service. So when I see, reduction in staff, I'm just like, okay, what are we doing when we already, basically established through the budget that, we would, allocate resources for parks, whether it's staffing dollars or programming dollars to make sure the department is, full service. All right, my next item has to do with police off-duty compensation. There was I guess a reduction since some compensation passed through the city payroll. And it was significantly less than anticipated. I think it was item 13, the budget amendment. Mr. Manager, if you want to speak to that.
If I recall, I believe the conversation was that somehow or another the city was impacted when we processed those things through our payroll. And so there's an opportunity for vendors who hire our police officers off duty to pay them directly.
Okay, and I know previously there was a problem with that. That was actually an audit finding that we weren't, and Bob maybe can speak to this, but we weren't accounting for off-duty police like time, right? Time that would, I guess, be considered, like under the lens of an independent contractor. So they weren't paying taxes, they were paying officers directly. Where the state actually came in and said, that it should be accounted for in a different way, that those payments should be directly to the city. So is that not occurring, or? Bob?
Yeah, if I may, very quickly. The issue was that the city was paying the officers who were doing off-duty work. They were paying them as independent contractors on a 1099 miscellaneous. IRS said, no, if the city's going to pay it, it's got to be through the payroll system, which creates all sorts of problems. If I can go back to your original question, it was originally thought that the off-duty officers were going to be in fact paid through the city, and therefore the payroll expense was going to go up. It was subsequently determined that that has not occurred since last July, because it is much more efficient and cheaper for those people who are hiring our officers to pay them directly than rather through the city. So in recognition of the fact that this has not occurred since last July, we pulled back on the compensation that we thought was going to pass through the payroll.
Okay, so that's all it speaks to, the compensation and that
Exactly.
going through the payroll. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. And the next item, which was relative to the conversation we had earlier regarding holiday pay and excess accrued sick leave payout, which was previously broken out of regular salaries and would now be put back into regular salaries, I guess, in separate accounts. Are no longer required. I know that has no, it says it has no impact, but there is an amount. Can you explain that?
Yes,
Item 14.
We had 3 accounts. We recognized that 2 of the accounts were necessary because we could identify the cost involved in holiday pay and additional sick pay without having separate accounts. So what we did is we took 3 accounts, just rolled them back together into a single account.
Okay, so it's just consolidating the account.
Exactly.
All right, thank you. The next item, I guess we already went over this one, the parks and recreation. The state of the city. There was a $9,500 expense.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
In fact, it was 10,000. Original budget was 500, and in fact, we had to add 9,500 to for this particular state of the city.
Okay, I just have a question because I've been here for a while, and obviously I've had a chance to look at previous budgets and the amount and have grown accustomed to the amount that we usually spend. On the State of the City address, and obviously we've been in a financial emergency since coming into office, and we've decided to take a more frugal approach, which is why the 500 line was proffered. I guess there's a question to the manager. How do we get to a point where we're, I guess, expending the city budget, which was initially 500 by, I mean, we're not even doubling it, tripling it, quadrupling it. We're just adding, I guess, $9,000.
I approved the expense. We were in the middle of, having this process with the PR team that was in place prior to me getting here. And for whatever reason, like most contracts, city has an opportunity to terminate the contract. For this particular instance, the vendor terminated the contract in the middle of what we had going on, and I made a decision to go with another firm at the time as a result of where we are in that process. So I made the decision, approved it, and I don't believe that this is going to be an ongoing. But I approved the expenditure. I thought it was in the best interest of the city, and even understanding our financial position.
Okay, so that's why on the line it says, I guess, savings, because the assumption is, I guess you're speaking to the previous PR firm
Yes.
that we had initially had a contract with, and that firm has, I guess, all of a sudden decided to leave us for whatever reason. So you decided to add to the State of City line to kind of compensate for that loss in PR and
Yes.
I guess all the benefits that would come under
Yes.
having a contract with
Right.
Okay. I don't necessarily agree. Like I said, I tend to take the more frugal approach. However, I know it's within your scope. It seems to be right at that limit. I think is what, $10,000 is, I see it's cutting
25.
close. 10, 15, what is your
25.
limit? 25, okay. So, okay. All right, the next item I had questions about was there was a Black History Month event, I guess. I just don't know. I would just want to know what that event is. It's a $2,700 expenditure.
I believe there was a dinner, and I believe the city took a table at that event.
I'm sorry, Mr. Aneth.
Yeah, I believe it was a dinner, and I believe that the city did take a table to participate in that event.
Oh, okay. So that was, that's the Trayvon Martin event.
Yes, sir.
Is
Okay.
that what you're referring to, Commissioner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's it. Okay, I just wanted to know what event, that's all. Okay, and that's all my questions. So just for a matter of record, the reason why I asked for the budget presentation to be presented under the mayor and commission report and then reserve my time for that is because, as you know, the last commission meeting, I was unable to attend due to last minute work emergency. And I did notice that there were changes between the first and second reading, which included many of the lines that I brought up tonight. So in a matter of transparency and accountability, I thought it would be prudent for the public to know this information and also to know that it wasn't presented at the last commission meeting, which is why I decided to have the presentation made tonight, to continue, full transparency as well as accountability in local government. So, Madam Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Question, Mr. Manager, through Ms. Lawson, if it's okay if I can ask this question. The previous marketing firm, what was even the smallest things that we did in the city. Those bills were generally. But, it's fine. Okay, thank you. We'll, if we can get that information, that'll be great.
Okay,
If you can let us know, because I know that we were billed even for some of the smallest things. Any official board appointments?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Madam Clerk, can you give us a report soon or sometime before the next commission meeting? What the status is on the boards, if they're meeting regularly, if they're not meeting, you don't have to do it tonight, but if you can just give us a status so we know which direction in terms of what we need to do to reinvigorate most of our boards, okay?
Will do.
Thank you so much.
Madam Mayor, to add to that, she asked about the meeting regularly and all the boards that are that are not completed. Also add that in the report as well. That are missing
Yeah.
board members and stuff like that.
Okay, will do, but just point of reference at the last page on your agenda. Those are the vacancies on the boards. But I'll include that in the report.
No, I understand. I just wanted to.
Okay,
include it in
I
the
will.
report, so we have one document.
Will do.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion second by
Second.
Commissioner Bass. Thank you. Have a great evening.